Hello everyone, and welcome back to At the Screening. This is a major moment for the show and for MLP, as we take a look at Friendship is Magic's 200th episode, Sparkle 7. As Thespio said last time, he couldn't be here due to convention duties, but I brought in someone who I honestly should have collaborated with a long time ago. Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome my fellow haymaker and only other sports opponent in the fandom besides me, Nicky V.
Hey y'all, can't stay for too long. Got the NBA and the NHL playoffs, the NFL draft, and the start of the MLB season to worry about, but I've got plenty of time to talk about such a momentous occasion in the Pony series. Episode number 200. How many shows can say they've hit that? That puts Friendship is Magic in the same company as The Simpsons, SpongeBob, Adventure Time, Teen Titans Go, Legends of the Industry, all of them. And just like episode number 100, the staff had big plans for such a massive milestone. This week's episode, Sparkle 7, had some very special writers, the voice actresses. Tara Strong, Ashley Ball, Andrea Libman, Tabitha St. Germain, and Kathy Weseluk got to use all of their outlandish ideas that they've always wanted to use to create their own story. And I gotta say, this might be one of the best stories MLP has ever crafted. And it kind of makes me wonder what other ideas they have.
Well, seeing how this is the last season, anything is on the table. But as the plot for this episode, Shining Armor sends a message to Twilight saying the coveted crown for Sibling Supreme is up for grabs. In order to attain the crown, the captain of the Royal Guard puts together new security protocols to Canterlot Castle after Sombra's return. Shining Armor and the Royal Sisters, though mostly Celestia, ask Twilight to test the system in place by having the main seven attempt to steal the crown with their best efforts. I'm going to say this was by far the most entertaining, impressively animated episode in a long time. From the start of the episode to the twist at the end, I had a 10-mile wide smile on my face. There's too much I love about the episode to go into full detail. Rarity taking the lead on the heist, Fluttershy and Spike having a Mission Impossible moment, Shining Armor's ingenuity to main six proof the castle, but I want to talk about how the VAs provided the input of what they wanted to do, and then Josh Haber and Nicole DeBook put those ideas to paper. Right now, I'm just going to put on screen Jim Miller's Twitter notes about what each actress would have liked to see implemented, which included Tabitha St. Germain's idea of the plot centered around a heist scenario. How it didn't become a hodgepodge of contrasting ideas is nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah, and with such a busy plot, it was even more impressive that every single one of the 10 major characters in this episode had at least one moment that'll stick in my head forever. There's never been an MLP episode that had that many entertaining performances. But despite the fact that I'm a huge Pinky Mark, the MVP for this episode has got to be Twilight. Her facials are just so perfectly memeable. Tara Strong brought her S-rank game, and every line of hers was downright charming as heck.
Hey, I'm a huge Pinky fan as well, but the real standout was Rarity by a long shot. Once again, Tabitha brings down the house with Rarity becoming way too invested in the heist scenario, to the point where she shakes down the politest pony for information. She even mirrored myself playing Dungeons & Dragons, berating Rainbow Dash for pulling literally every lever in the secret tunnel, with half of them being traps. But I do agree with you on the facial expressions. Everyone had a new expression that was meme-worthy, from Rainbow fake barfing in front of Zephyr Breeze to Applejack Montana being charming as she can be in front of the Canterlot Guard. Now, normally we don't talk about the twists in the episodes, but I think for the 200th episode, we'll make an exception. The girls end up executing the original plan, utilizing each of the girls' strengths, only to prove fruitless. Until...
That's the thing about looks. They can be deceiving. Spike?
How in Equestria did you do it?
Come on, you two don't think you have the only sibling rivalry. I had an inside pony help.
Now, normally when I watch an episode for the first time, I just enjoy the episode for what it is and don't try to guess how any of the plot twists are gonna go. But even on a second viewing, this was a fantastic twist that I had no clue was coming. Yeah, Luna was angsty that they weren't going with her plan, but Luna's like 90% angst these days, so there was no hint that she was gonna interfere so heavily. Plus, Spike oh so subtly manipulating the plan to get everyone back on the original plan, even going so far as to sabotage the balloon flight. Spike's entire plan looks like it came straight out of the Sun Tzu playbook. Absolutely brilliant. And look at the tension between Celestia and Luna on their way out. They're putting on a nice face, but I guarantee you the second they got behind a thick wall, they were in a full-blown screaming fit at each other. I'm just gonna call it now. I think Luna goes bad in the series finale, as a mirror to the series premiere. Celestia hasn't seemed to learn the lesson about cooperation between her and her sister even after all this time. They didn't go with Luna's plan way back in the Crystal Empire. There was all the drama and a royal problem. It took as long as it did for Luna to get her own throne, and now here, along with smaller things like in Slice of Life and Horseplay. Luna hasn't been the biggest fan of Celestia's decision-making because a lot of the time she gets left out of the creative input, and they just go with Celestia's ideas. This is gonna blow up soon. Mark my words.
Okay, you heard it here, folks. Nicky is putting his chips on Luna going evil in the series finale. Now, I only have a couple of nitpicks to what is otherwise an excellent episode. One is second worst character, Sever Breeze. Not only does it affirm that Flutter Brudder accomplished nothing, but on my initial watch, I'd question why in all of Equestria would anyone hire this egotistical slacker as part of the Canalog Guard, only by the end to realize Luna purposefully put him in charge of the secret tunnel to pull off the heist. My only saving grace is that he's permanently blacklisted from any government job and should stay far away from anyone barring risking a lawsuit. The other is, I felt the neglected sibling plot with Luna and Spike felt a bit tacked on. Out of all the creative input for the story, it sort of felt like Kathy Westlick's contribution fell to the wayside until the third act started.
First off, have you seen the Royal Guard? Those guys are so ineffectual, I'm surprised Zeph didn't have a job for life with those guys. And as for the neglected sibling plot, there's very subtle hints to it. Like when Philly Twy got crowned, Spike was drawing his own stars on the wall in a desperate attempt to be included in the event. But I will say, seeing the childhood dynamic between Twilight and Spike, and I guess Shining by extension, is an episode that I've wanted to see for a long time. Maybe something similar to MLP comic number 40. But I think that this still at least got that story going, and maybe we'll see it again before the show calls it a run. The world always needs more Philly Twy. She is weapons grade cute.
Yeah, certainly Twyla's cuteness would have to go before the Geneva Convention to determine if it's humane to use as a weapon. Now, off topic, here's a question I'm not sure was asked yet. Is it better than episode 100's Slice of Life? I actually think it does. While Slice of Life was closer to 22 short films about Springfield as a series of random stories connected to the one plot line, Sparkle 7, on the other hand, not only has a connection to the overlying plot of Grogar's return, but the episode actually feels like a 3-act structure was put in place.
Sparkle 7 was definitely the more coherent story, as Slice of Life's major fault was how just totally unfocused it was. And that's honestly part of the appeal. It throws as many ideas at the wall as it can to give us maximum memes per hour, but Sparkle 7 is, for all intents and purposes, trying to be a normal episode of Friendship is Magic. And it's a really, really good episode of Friendship is Magic. The only thing that sets it apart, aside from the high quality, is that the voice actresses got to have a major hand in writing the story, while Slice of Life was just trying to be as insane as humanly possible.
Well, that said, I think we're both in agreement. This was a great episode. Both of us give it a hooves up. Thank you for visiting the balcony, and thank you, Nicky, for helping filling in for this milestone episode.
No problem. Thanks for having me on. Feel free to bring me back anytime.
Tune in next time for The Point of No Return.